Ready for the King of the Ice? Pete's Power Plays with Philly Pete starts now on 12 Ounce Sports.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wednesday, middle of the week already, September 30th, last day of the month already. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Of Pete's Power Plays, hosted by the one, the only King of the Ice himself, Philly Pete, and we are live, L-I-V-E. We're live on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV, channel 761. Everybody tuning in, click to that channel right now. You'll be hearing my lovely voice. This show, as always, Pete's Power Plays, is sponsored by the best, mybookie.ag. When signing up with an account with MyBookie, make sure you use the promo code 12OunceSports. That's 12OZ Sports, all one word, when setting an account up, and they'll match your first deposit up to $1,000. Simple as that. You really don't want to be missing your chance to be growing green in your pocket. Big money. NBA Finals start tonight. You got Thursday Night Football starting tomorrow, even though it's kind of a dud game between the Jets and the Broncos, which I will talk about later on in this segment today. But sports are back. You have the MLB playoffs as well. You also have college football that's in action. You have college basketball right around the corner. I mean, what can I say? Sports are back, and what better way to start cashing large than mybookie.ag? Once again, 12-ounce sports, 12OZ Sports, all one word. Use the promo code, like I said, and they'll match your first deposit up to $1,000. Simple as that. Once again, mybookie.ag. Get your account today. Also, Zingo TV, channel 761. I hope you ladies and gentlemen out there are tuning in right now. Click to that channel right now, and I'm live. I'm live right now on the 12-ounce sports channel. So once again, Zingo TV, channel 761. Those that do not have Zingo TV, make sure that you download the app on your smart TV and use the promo code when setting up an account, 12-ounce, 12OZ, simple as that, and from there you'll be streaming live. Not only Pete's Power Plays, hosted by the one, the only Philly Pete, but all of our other phenomenal shows that we can provide to you on 12-ounce sports. Once again, Zingo TV, channel 761. Ladies and gentlemen out there, thank you for tuning in to the Wednesday, September 30th, 2020 episode of Pete's Power Plays. So, we started off with a bang last week. This whole week is just very exciting. I can't wait to talk more in depth about 2021 Stanley Cup futures, predictions, where I'm leaning at. You know, after my show yesterday, that I love the Vancouver Canucks at plus 2,500, 25 to 1. Very, very good. You know, it's a good number there for those boys out there. We know Markstrom, if he's still around, you know, between Markstrom and Demko, if Markstrom does stay with the Canucks, I think this team is a clear-cut favorite to get to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, everything about this team just matches up very well. I mean, like I said yesterday, Horvat, Pettersson, just to name a couple of that young, talented squad of Vancouver, it's going to be tough to match them when it comes to next year. So that's why they're on my list. I have a few others that I have in my mind as well that I will get into today during my show. So that's going to be one of my topics I will talk about. Also, and also some good value too, some good value plays, Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals, and of course Stanley Cup Finals. A lot to intake, but also, and then some all-season predictions that I think will happen. I have a couple of pinpointers of what I think is going to happen. Will Jack Eichel be on the move? You know, a lot of situations could be going down, and you know, what can I say? So we'll see what happens there. And also, last but not least, the Jets-Broncos Thursday Night Football game tomorrow. I want to give you guys plays and predictions on who I think is going to win, what's going to happen, and of course, give you guys an updated daily fantasy football locks. Tomorrow, I will talk about the actual lineup for daily fantasy football tomorrow for your Thursday night lineup. But today, I will talk about strictly couple players in mind. Jeff Driscoll has been scratched off of my lineup. All right, I believe he is injured, so get him off your lineups. Currently, Noah Fant and Sam Darnold are currently in my lineups, but once again, Stay tuned for that. And again, this is why fantasy lineups are so subject to change, because you don't know. Stuff like injuries can take place. You got to redo your lineups with better players, just to equal out your salary that you have. So stay tuned to that later on. And of course, my Jets and Broncos predictions and plays as well. Mr. Henrik Lundqvist. Cheers to you, my man. Congratulations on a very, very successful, great career for the Rangers. He just got let go by the Rangers the other day, and hats off to you. You absolutely were always on your game when you played the Flyers, and we always hated you. But cheers to you. You were wonderful. You're a great asset to that New York Rangers squad, and best of luck in your future endeavors wherever you may go or land. Someone will pick you up. Someone will pick you up. And, this just reminds me of, hey, if Markstrom, this is just a perfect example for the Canucks here. If we know Demko, if Markstrom leaves, if Markstrom signs somewhere else, I do expect Lundqvist to sign with the Canucks and be Demko's backup. Unless if Lundqvist wants to start, unless if he wants to start, somewhere else, someone else that's absolutely desperate for a starting goaltender, he will go there. But I just feel like, with his age and how Demko has played in the playoffs and how he's ready to take the reins, if Markstrom were to leave, I think this is Demko's time to shine in net for Vancouver. And I think that Lundqvist could be a very good role model and mentor to Demko if he were to sign as a backup for the Vancouver Canucks. So keep that in mind. I do like that if that were to happen. But once again, all eyes are on Markstrom if he is to stay with Vancouver or to leave. And I will talk about that later on, of course, during this show. So Eastern Conference 2021 predictions. Again, you guys and ladies out there that are tuning in new from my show yesterday, where all the updated odds were. I'm going to be doing that at least once a week on my show. Whatever day it is on my show, once a week, I want to give you all updates on Cup futures, where the numbers and where the money is going. But right now, Eastern Conference 2021 predictions. Now, you have 4-1 Tampa. They're already the favorite once again to win the Eastern Conference. There's like I said yesterday, there's a 3-way tie as favorites for the Cup, and Tampa was there with Vegas and Colorado. So there you go. No surprise there. And at 4-1, they are the favorites to win the Eastern Conference again. Boston is at 6-1. Now, we know that it's going to be awfully tough. And I said this yesterday. It's tough for champs to win back-to-back Stanley Cups, let alone Eastern Conference champions. It's tough. It's absolutely tough to win back-to-back cups, to repeat as Eastern Conference champions. It's tough. It's absolutely tough. So, no surprise here. 4-1 Tampa, already the favorite. Boston 6-1, and the Bolts could be headed for some cap issues as well. You have to take effect in this now. Okay, this is why it's tough to repeat, because you have to look at cap, and there's going to be some issues down the road here. Tampa only has $5.3 million in cap space, and some good players will soon be without contracts, and we all know that. Pat Maroon, to name one, Anthony Cirelli, Sergachev, Luke Shen, Shattenkirk, Eric Cernak. I mean, those are just 5 or 6 or 7 names that I just, 6 or 7 Tampa Bay Lightning players' names I just read off that are due for a new contract. And who knows? These guys might be walking away. So, it's going to be very interesting to see who Tampa keeps, who they let walk. But time will tell. And once again, it's just really, really tough to repeat. Not only as Cup champs, but as also representing the Eastern Conference and going back to the finals as well. So it's just tough. It's absolutely tough. Now, Tampa Bay will still have all of its big horses again, okay? It'll have to part with some guys who played very key roles in the Cup run. So we all know Stamkos going to be staying, Point. We know all those guys, Hedman, we know they're all going to be staying put. Okay, but those guys I just mentioned need a new cap, and you might see them walk away. You might see him walk and go somewhere else. But when everything's said and done here, a bold prediction for Philly Pete here, and again, I'm being biased, but I'm going with the Philadelphia Flyers. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I know I'm biased. I know I represent my boys all the time, and I will continue to do so because it is time. It is absolutely time. They are one goal scorer away from going to the Stanley Cup. They fell short to the Islanders. We saw that. They lost in 7. They got demolished. I remember that clear as yesterday. It was embarrassing. But they need goal scorers. Okay, they need a goal scorer to boost that team. Like I said, they are in the Patrick Laine running. We know that. That is rumored. Flyers are up there. They're a top 3 team. All right? And don't even get me started with JVR or Ghost or Voracek. You know, they might all be gone, especially JVR and Ghost. JVR, word on the street that, they might trade him in a package for somebody. And time will tell. Time will absolutely tell. You also have the Seattle Kraken that's coming into existence next year. And we'll see what happens with who they take from the Flyers. And, it could be Voracek if he stays. It could be JVR if we don't do nothing with him. Ghost, I feel like Ghost is going to leave this offseason. We will see. Somebody will pick him up that's desperate for defense. But, like I said, to me, this is just, like I said, the Flyers are just one really good goal scorer, I should say, away from winning a cup. And finally something that we've been waiting for way too long. Way too long. But I think we take the next step, win the conference next season. We have no cap issues at the moment, which is great. And, we have our goaltender of the future, Carter Hart, obviously. He's going to be on the Flyers for the next 15 years of our lives. He's going to be rocking and rolling. Love it. And I think they learned a good deal in the playoffs about getting to the next level. We know what they did in the round-robin games. They absolutely demolished everybody. And they just had a halt against the Islanders. They fought back from 3-1 to top the series and head to 7. And unfortunately, they learned the hard way and they got smoked. But that's how it happens. That's typical. They were out of juice. They were out of fumes. I really, truly think that the round-robin games is what did them pretty well because they looked god-awful. I mean, they looked ungodly, I should say, not god-awful, because they were kicking everybody's team. They were kicking every team's ass in the round-robin games. Capitals, Lightning, Boston. They all know. Flyers took heavy advantage on them and cashed out, no problem. They demolished those 3 teams. So, all in all, I think if they could add a goal scorer, and most importantly, if they could add, you can never go wrong with defense. If they add a nice defenseman, I think that will help. Again, knowing that Ghost is likely out in Philadelphia come next year, there's no need for him, and they don't want to take on his cap either. So they're going to let him walk, and you know what? Maybe a good third line center in the offseason. That's always something to pick up. There's going to be a couple of people out there for sure, veterans if possible, but a nice defenseman could always help, knowing that Ghost might be out, and a good third line center. And of course, most importantly as well, and just a goal scorer to help out Claude Giroux. He's the captain for a reason, man. Like we need Giroux to come through, and we need some help for him as well. So there you have it. And they're at 7-1. The Flyers to win the Eastern Conference is at 7-1. I like that. That's going to be my pick to win the Eastern Conference. Especially, I do like the 7-1 odds. I mean, $100 pays you $700. You're good to go. It's a good play here. Couple additions to the roster, and they'll be set. Western Conference Finals. Now, I think this will be very tough for Dallas to get back to the Cup Finals. It's tough for everybody. It really is tough to get back. It really, really is. And for Dallas, I think it's going to be tough for them to get back. A lot of very fortunate things came together for them the postseason, but again, it's tough to have that happen twice. Now, at 4-1, the Colorado Avalanche is the early favorite to win the West. And right behind them is Vegas. Vegas is at 5-1. Colorado is at 4-1. And that's why they're both 7-1 to win the Stanley Cup Finals. Of course, being in a 3-way tie with Tampa. So Colorado is 4-1. Vegas is 5-1. Most books that I'm seeing here. So Colorado is the only favorite to win the West. A couple of things need to happen for me, though, however, to make them a pick in the West. They need a number 1 goalie. I said this on yesterday's show, and I'll say it again. They need a new number one goalie. Okay, Braden Holtby could be out there. That could be someone that could be a good target for Colorado to go after is Braden Holtby from the Capitals. Absolutely. That would just boost their morale and that team to the top for me. And I think another good defenseman as well. Alex Pietrangelo. Word on the street that he might be out. I like that. You put in Holtby and Pietrangelo on the Avalanche, and I think the Avs are guaranteed to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. It will be two key additions to that squad. You know what they did. They lost to the Stars, okay, in the playoffs. We know that. But I really think that if they add a number one goalie and another good defenseman, okay, who obviously these are free agent, these could be free agent guys between Holtby and Pietrangelo. The Avs also have a lot of cap space as well, so this will help that team tremendously. Otherwise they remain young and talented, and no doubt they'll be really hungry next year after losing Game 7, of course, to the Western Conference champs, the beloved Dallas Stars. But for now, I will go with Colorado to win the West for now. For now, of course, unless they get these two positions, authorized. Okay, and I do like Colorado to bounce back. At 4-1, it's chalky, but it's still not bad, knowing that how good of a team they really are. They're young, they're talented, they're ready to rock. So if they could get a number one goaltender and another top defenseman, you'll be seeing Colorado in the Stanley Cup next year, no doubt in my mind. Now, I have, and like I said, a couple early Stanley Cup picks. I know I mentioned yesterday, it's tough for the Lightning to repeat. I don't think they're going to repeat. Vegas was up there for me. Okay, Vegas at 7-1. Colorado, once again, will be up there for me at 7-1. I like the Flyers, like I said yesterday, at 18-1, I believe, or 16-1. But, and early, again, this is all subject to change as always. But Colorado, once again, 7-1, an early favorite. I gave this play out to my clients as well as another Western Conference play. However, of course, it didn't cash. But we got Tampa at 9-1. That basically got all much more. But Colorado, once again, 7-1. Again, if they add a good player, defenseman, goaltender, I feel even more comfortable at laying that plus at that 7-1 plus 700. But I really do think the Avs will get help on the personnel. So, like I said, right now, early pick here. I love the Flyers to represent the East. I love the Colorado to represent the West. And again, it all comes down to who they sign the offseason with that much cap room that they have. And, it's going to be neck and neck between them and Vegas. I've been saying that. I said that yesterday, and I'll say it now. Colorado and Vegas are going to be two, 7-1 plays here, tickets that a lot of people are going to be going for. So, again, I could absolutely see the Avs playing Vegas in the Western Conference Finals next season. Now, long shots to consider, okay? The Islanders I mentioned yesterday, okay? And I liked what the Islanders did. Okay, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I absolutely do. Islanders, definitely get a wager down on them at the price. I mentioned that on the show yesterday. You get a good price on them as well. They took Tampa to 6 games, and they have a lot of good pieces in place. Matt Barzal, the contract is up, and I don't think that the Islanders don't have a lot of cap space, so they might need to move some salary around to fit him in. But he's going to stay in New York. And I think the Islanders would be dumb if they didn't keep him for years to come. Just dump off a couple salary, re-sign him, and I think the Islanders are going to get back into another deep cup run. Vancouver Canucks, like I said, a very early bet for me, which I love though. Young and talented. I'm not going to get into it because you already heard my spiel about the Canucks. The Hurricanes, 25-1 to win the Cup. Another good early shot bet. I did that last year at 33-1. Okay, I'm going to do it again, 25-1. We're going to get out of them. They're another good young team. Talent is there, goaltending is there. Maybe a little bit better goaltending wise. It's decent. It's decent what they have now, but they could do better as well. You can maybe even see Holtby on the Hurricanes. Who knows? But they can get some. They could get a decently better goaltender as well. But for them, there's so many goalies out there that will be on the open market, and just watch out for Carolina to get one of them. So Hurricanes 25-1 as well. So that concludes my segment with that. I want to give you guys a quick rundown of free agents, that the top 10 free agents right now that are going to be on the market for teams to pick up. Once again, though, this Wednesday, September 30th, 2020 episode of Pete's Power Plays, hosted by the one, the only King of the Ice himself, Philly Pete. And again, we're live on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV, channel 761. Make sure you click on to 761 on Zingo TV right now. You'll hear my lovely voice, but this show, as always, Pete's Power Plays, is sponsored by the one, the only, MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code 12Ounce Sports, 12OZ Sports, as your promo code. Set that up today. They'll match your first deposit up to $1,000. Also, Zingo TV, channel 761. If you don't have the app, download it on your smart TV. Use the promo code 12Ounce, 12OZ, simple as that. And from there, you'll be streaming live all of our phenomenal shows on 12 Ounce Sports, including yours truly, Pete's Power Plays. So, ladies and gentlemen, the top 10. And I already mentioned a couple of these guys already. Braden Holtby, Washington Capitals goalie. Of course, the Vezina Trophy winner, headed into free agency back in 2016, obviously. And, 10 years in the making for the Caps. The 10-year veteran. The Caps aren't ready to give him up yet, but word on the street is that he's gonna want out. He's gonna absolutely want out. He wants another cup. So Braden Holtby, he's on the list. Torrey Krug, defender from Boston Bruins, he's on there as well. Spent all his 9 years of his NHL career in Boston, and the 29-year-old has been outspoken about his lack of interest in a shorter contract. And if that's all the Bruins will offer him, he is on the street, and, we'll see. A lot of rumblings right now is that Vegas is in the hunt for Torrey Krug as well, and Alex Pietrangelo, okay? I know I mentioned Colorado is going to be highly motivated to get Pietrangelo, so will Vegas, okay? So whoever, Vegas and Colorado are going to be fighting for these players. Krug, Pietrangelo, Holtby, whatever it may be, but these two teams, especially Colorado, they need defense, but hey, no one's going to complain about Krug or Pietrangelo, so we will see what happens. Moving on, Robin Lehner, the goalie from the Vegas Golden Knights. They have Fleury and they have Lehner, and I think that Fleury will be the one staying put in Vegas, and they're going to make a move. They're definitely going to make a move for him, to get rid of him, and it's just. We'll see what happens there. Lehner settled in Vegas this postseason, though. He compiled a 9-4 record, 1.84 goals against average, basically a .924 save percentage. But again, it's complicated by his counterpart. Obviously, with who is the flower of Marc-Andre Fleury. He wants to retire in Vegas, but Lehner provides more long-term stability for the Vegas Knights. And for me, he has a handshake agreement, basically, with a goaltender for a 5-year contract, $5 million payout. He's denied that there's a contract extension, but definitely considered to be a hot commodity in free agency. So we will see what happens. Fleury obviously signed a 3-year extension in 2018 worth $7 million, and he has no intentions of leaving Vegas. So I think this might be Lehner's exit, and who knows? Colorado could pick up Robin Lehner. What can I say? So Colorado could absolutely pick him up. Carolina could pick him up. Look for Holtby and look for Lehner to get new homes. And don't be surprised if it's Colorado and or Carolina, either one of those two goaltenders, Colorado or Carolina. Just stay tuned to those two names, Lehner and Holtby. Stay tuned. Also, and then of course Pietrangelo's name. You could see him on Vegas. You could see him on Colorado. Either way. Also Krug. Can't forget Krug as well. So there you have it. Those are a couple. I know I said top 10, but these are just, I got to run through a little bit. I only got 5 minutes left with you guys. So, but those are my top 3 players that you can very well see on the move. And just pay attention. Just watch out this off season. So time will tell. And October 9th is the window opening officially for the free agency period. So, we got about a little over a week now for that to happen. I can't wait, so just stay tuned. Expect plenty of fireworks. So, Now, I want to go into that. I'm going to go into Thursday night's game. Also, a couple of names real quick to round it off. Taylor Hall from the Arizona Coyotes. He will be in the mix. Like I said, Robin Lehner, of course I said that. Tyson Barrie, defender from the Toronto Maple Leafs, looking for him to be to be on the move as well. Of course, Jacob Markstrom, the goalie of Vancouver, which I talked about earlier. Look for his name. Another potential goalie that Carolina could grab. Another potential goalie that even Colorado could grab. We'll see what happens. Mike Hoffman, the winger from the Florida Panthers. Look for his name in the offseason. Holtby, I know I mentioned that. Evgeny Dadonov, another Florida Panthers player to be on the move. Be ready for his name as well, a 30-year-old there. And Tyler Toffoli, Vancouver Canucks winger as well. Look for his name as well. I'm not sure what they plan to do with him. But again, another name to keep your eye on. Michael Granlund from the Nashville Predators. TJ Brody, another huge name, another defenseman there on the move in Calgary. Look for his name. Also, Travis Hamonic, two Calgary Flames defensemen that are on the free agency list. I expect Calgary to sign one, if not both, but look for one of the two to be on the move. Sami Vatanen, of course, from the Carolina Hurricanes, and of course Khudobin. Khudobin's up there as well, Dallas Stars goalie. So stay tuned. Corey Crawford, to name a few. Not like it matters, but Ilya Kovalchuk, Eric Haola, Panthers, Wayne Simmons, Kevin Shattenkirk, like I mentioned. There is a bunch of names out there, very good talent, and just stay tuned. Absolutely stay tuned for what's going to happen here. So moving on, Jets, Broncos, Thursday Night Football. Let me get into it real quick. Again, I will talk more about this game tomorrow night and where I'm leaning daily fantasy football-wise. I got a couple minutes left, so I want to do a quick pick for this game between Denver and New York. The game is in New York. Now, over-under is set at 40. Okay, over-under set at 40. I don't see many points in this game at all. Okay, you have quarterbacks who are way off the radar, and I'm going with the under 40 in this game here. The Jets haven't even come close to stiffing a cover. They're 0-3 straight up and against the spread, losing by an average score of 31-12. Okay, that's 43 points. But the Denver defense has played well, getting covers the first 2 weeks, but the injuries, which we all know about, are just too much for me to side with the Broncos here. And of course, they travel East Coast on a short week. The Bills and the Niners scored lots and lots of points on the Jets, but the Broncos aren't even close to doing that, especially with a third-string quarterback. So whoever that may be. We know Driscoll is likely hurt, and he's not even going to be playing. So I don't like that. I expect a lot of Melvin Gordon, to be honest with you guys. Maybe some Noah Fant short passes. But I think, Melvin Gordon needs to step up in this role here, But on that note, the way the offenses are, I like the under 40 in this game. It's just going to be an ugly Thursday night game, and that's where I stand. Now, in terms of going as a side, I want the Jets are now. It's at a pick now, but I locked in the Jets +3 earlier this week before it moved 3 points to a pick. You're seeing a pick. You're seeing a pick, and you're seeing a +1 currently for the Jets. But I'm sticking with the Jets +3. I already locked that in. As bad as they are, they're representing good value last week against a good but not great Colts team. Way off. The difference here is that we know the Broncos aren't good right now with their long list of injuries. It's never a good sign when it takes until Tuesday to know who's going to start at quarterback for a Thursday night game. Makes even less sense to such a team as a road favorite. So as bad as Sam Darnold is and has looked, he's going to be the better quarterback here. We know that, which is why he's on my list for daily fantasy, along with Noah Fant and Melvin Gordon. And he'll be up against a defense that's given up 26 points in 3 straight games, if not for Gostkowski Week 1 meltdown. So give me the Jets +3, like I already did that. The home field advantage, of course, in an enhanced stadium. That's where I'm going. A long trip for Denver on a short week with a depleted roster is going to be spelling DOOM, doom, for such a proud franchise. So on that note, I'm out of time. Give me the Jets Broncos under 4. Give me the Jets +3, as I already locked it earlier this week. I'm out of time. Talk to you guys tomorrow. See ya. Bye.